Welcome to TSAM Inspirational TV, a home for purpose-driven and kingdom-centered inspiration. In a world searching for hope and direction, we bring you contents that will uplift, empowers, and transforms life. Welcome to another immediate edition of Inspirational Portal at TSAM Inspirational TV, where real life challenges meet practical solutions. And our guest for today is the CEO of Visual Estate, Zest Global Concept International Limited, CEO, architect Zirinza Dauda. We are so happy to have you in the studio today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you, viewers.
Thank you so much for joining us. And on today's episode, we are going to delve into real estate, what real estate involves, and what the listeners should know about real estate. So our first question for you should be you sharing your journey as an architect, a developer, and a real estate professional in Nigeria.
Thank you so much. It's been an awesome journey, and it's interesting that how God keeps unfolding the next steps. We thank God that we find ourselves where we are now. It's really a divine plan. My name is Architect Zadauda. I'm a passionate architect, and I found myself being passionate about architecture before knowing what is architecture. So it's divinely arranged. I'm from Michigan, Adamawa State. I was born at Mobi, and most of my school was in Adamawa State. My passion for architecture, real estate, construction, I think it has been from my childhood that I can remember from my primary school years. From my primary school, when I'm making choice for clothes, let's say for shoes, clothes, from my childhood in primary school, everybody will be commenting on those things. From the time I know that, okay, if they say they give us money to buy clothes, what I'll buy with my own last longer. I have this desire to be exceptional, to have something new. When I was in junior secondary school, I have passion to study science. And even in science, my limit was in construction. I can remember in junior school, there was a time we were doing some road construction near my school. Immediately after school, before my lunch, I'll go to that construction site because I drive passion seeing those machines working, the laborers, the system.
Very fascinating.
Yeah, it was so fascinating. So from there, I now desire to go for technical college. In technical college, I happened to study electrical, and I went for electrical because it was the most difficult course in the college. And I was like, okay, which course is the most difficult? They told me electrical. I was like, okay, I'll go for it.
People actually go for the easiest courses.
No, I choose for the most difficult. Yeah. And when I go to university, I have passion for electrical, but because I've not seen practical aspect of it, and that's why I choose architecture, where I can express myself better compared to my foundation in electrical. So architecture became a flow because by God's grace I would say it's in view. So it became a flow. From there. I did my NYC here in Abuja after graduation, and when I was in 100 level, I was supposed to go for my IT 400 level. I started looking for where to do my IT when I was in 100 level. I started coming to Abuja looking for architectural field for my IT because in your life I feel there is no challenge, and I feel like even when as a student I feel like this is where I belong. I belong to the federal capital. So from 100 level I look forward to do my IT. I did my IT here, I served here in Abuja. And so when I was serving, my boss used to take me out. Then I was serving yesterday. Then some of the stars were like, no, this artist is NYC Copper, you are going out with Copper doing the work we are supposed to do. So they now chain up and gang up against me to say it. So that now, as if every disappointment is a blessing, that now launched me into real estate. When I now start going to some offices, and since then, most of my designs have been real estate designs. But I hardly get the opportunity to do that kind, one duplex, this single block. I've been designing estates for people, and it was, it's like God ordering my step towards real estate until when I became mature to say in the practice that now I know, okay, it's high time to start my real estate company.
That's really amazing. So the take home from this journey of yours, because we believe that everything that we discuss here has a way of inspiring the listeners. So the take home from here is that you should learn to find your niche so that you could express yourself more in that particular niche. So not because you're doing things because it's trendy, but just try to find yourself in something and so that you're able to allow you to be free, and which you did in architecture, and that's really amazing. So there's obviously along the line times where you experience stumbling blocks, and we want to know those stumbling blocks that you have experienced personally, and also the stumbling blocks that generally developers and estate managers experience in Nigeria, particularly Abuja.
Sometimes stumbling blocks can be a stepping stone, and stumbling blocks is not, you can't see a block that you stumble on it and go ahead and stumble on it. They happen and you now, they say, fall forward. Take advantage of that falling down and rise up. The Bible says 7 times you will rise up. After my NYSC, I did an estate design for someone. So he was like, after a few months, he gave me what you need to do, gave another engineer you need to do. Then the work stopped. He called me back after 3 months to build the whole estate. And I was given 1 month to take the estate to Intel level because it's expecting some payment. It's one of the challenges that oppose the work. So within 20 days, I had around 15 units at Intel level, from foundation to Intel level. So since there was enough funding, it's just to create a system. I've never done that before. Even supervising one single building as a fresh company, it was a challenge, but for the whole estate. It is big, but it builds me. I now face that challenge, and by God's grace, I get to face it. Then, fast forward to around 2020, when I started my own real estate company. Now, information helps you save a lot of problems. But when you are coming up, sometimes I call it as a school fees. Yesterday I was listening to how he lost a lot of money when he started oil business. And I was looking at myself how I lost that money because I didn't understand the system. But that was like a school fees to me in real estate. Because when I was pursuing that phone, I began to know how it should be done. What are the mistakes I've done? So I had a lot of lessons from that mistake. It was a stumbling block, but my take home from those mistakes really helped me that by God's grace I can hardly fall into those mistakes again. So it was a stumbling block, but it turns out to opens me up better and wiser when it comes to negotiation, when it comes to closing real estate transactions.
So basically, having the right information and also taking up big challenges, not making it look as if like you are overwhelmed, but letting yourself take up that risk to achieve it and see how it turns out for you. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of people lack, right? When they are being faced with very big challenges, they become scared and they want to pull back. But this is something that should inspire them, that you should try and face it, regardless of how that stumbling block is so big, because at the end of the day, the storm will calm down.
Definitely. You always say he will see us through the storm.
Yes.
He will never pull us out of the storm. You pass, definitely there will be a way out. So you pass through that storm, definitely, how I always see it, it will end up well.
Yes.
So there's stumbling block, there's challenge, but it will definitely end up well.
That's a very big line. Who's out and
Yeah.
I think that is really amazing. So we also want to know because there's a very big rise in real estate investment, especially in Abuja. We can even tell. In fact, as you're going through the routes of the road, you only see one big billboard of one real estate company or the other, and because of how everybody wants to get rich quickly. So people are looking for where when they hear a very big amount of money that oh well real estate is this, you make 300 billion, 1 billion, this, that. People want to invest and they want to get their money the same amount. So do you advise people to invest in real estate or they should invest in other options like businesses, maybe buying of shares in bank and all of that? So what's your take on that?
Um, as the name implies, real estate. So it's a venture that is real and it's physical, it's realistic. And I also always say any business that has to do with the earth, the ground, and cost such money goes on and hardly depreciate. Except for human factors, they hardly depreciate. So quite alright, there's these big figures in real estate. How much is this? 650 million. So it sounds good hearing this. But at the same time, before you get that physical house, 400 plus 500 almost go into that same property. So at the end of the day, the take home compared to the large volume of money that you keep saying or people keep hearing, you understand? But one good thing about it is physical. It's not like forex that is on the system, you can't really see it. So result matters a lot in real estate. And getting that result is not real estate is not a quick scheme kind of a business, get rich quick. No. It's something that you have to keep. A lot of things are involved, like reputation matters a lot, quality of work, time of delivery, and the sincerity in the transaction, the openness. But at the same time, except you have your cash, you start real estate, you build completely before you sell. If you are doing the real estate of collecting people's money to build for them or getting the land, sell it before paying the landowner. Just what mostly makes people fall into those traps is taking those people's money as if it's their money. And the big mistake is start spending your interest when you not conclude on the transaction. So most of the time, by the time you sell a unit for 200, 500 million, which are 500 million, to show that the next buyer, you are safe with me, I worth more than my car, even my car is over 100 million. But if not really complete that person's unit, before you know, after 2 years, most of those names disappear.
Yes.
And because you see the name and the name disappear, you don't really know what is really behind it. So it's a good venture, but one has to be sincere in the transaction. And one of my boss told me that on cooked beans that's not fully cooked, it spoils the stomach. So don't eat it when it's not fully ripe.
Makes sense. So what I'm understanding from what you're saying is that two things basically is I think you summarize it to be patience. So another good thing that the listeners should take home is patience. When you are investing in real estate, don't think that it's something that you invest in and then begin to make millions of money the next day. You have to be patient to build it and then you have to be sincere. And these are one of the key things that a lot of people lack, even realtors too as well lack, which is why most realtors.
But another way to information, for example, there is this concept of off-plan in real estate. Buying a unit that is not built. That is the off-plan. Now, if someone is opportune to get the information of these people are selling these units off-plan, and it mostly has to do with a company, an organization that has a reputation of integrity, because they are buying what is not built. You understand? It mostly comes with more than 30%, 40% discount. So within 1 year, you can end up with 100% profit on your investment. But it's very rare. So many people get their hands burnt on this same concept of the off-plan. But An off-plan transaction gives you high and fast return on investment in same real estate. But if it also comes with high risk, high profit. But if you are coming to buy a physically built project, the return, because somebody has covered for the risk you are buying, the return may not be that much. And at the same time, sometimes it's good to have the right information, because if, let's say for example, before they start this Bishiri bridge, if you have an information that they will start this bridge and it will now connect Maitama to Bishiri, payment, and you buy a property around that payment, immediately that bridge construction starts, that property value will start rising. So these are what information does in real estate.
So having the right information is very good in investing in real estate. So still on the question on investment. So let's say someone has a huge amount of money, and as a first timer, the person hasn't invested before, and the person doesn't want the money to go into waste without investing. So do you advise the person as a first timer to invest in real estate, or should invest in another means?
Okay. It's not every business that can give you 100% return on investment through money. So not just being because of the fact that I'm into real estate, but as I said earlier, with the right information, I will advise that person to invest in real estate to yield a better profit. And real estate, no matter how bad it may be, you can never lose your capital. It can hardly go beyond your capital. Except maybe the profit may not be as you expected, but your capital is still. You understand? Compared to venturing into a business that even the capital can disappear. So I advise such a person to invest in real estate.
I think that's a very simplified answer, that the person should just
invest into real estate, get the profit, do other business, and reinvest into real estate, get the profit, and keep investing in real estate.
There's a line that I really love when it's in terms of real estate. It says, buy real estate and wait. Don't wait to buy real estate.
Because they are waiting to buy real estate. The value will keep rising, and the value of your money in the account, like in economy presently, will keep depreciating.
Exactly.
So if you think they are waiting to buy real estate, they are really losing already.
So I think that's a very beautiful answer to our question. Now we are getting to the middle point of our conversation, and we want to transition to another topic in relation still with real estate, which is technology. Now there's a rise in technology, and a lot of corporate companies and a lot of sectors are now incorporating technology, because you can see that the world is now a global village. Almost everything is technologized now. So how do we incorporate technology in real estate to enhance real estate's efficiency in terms of their visions and their goals?
Yeah, the goal is going into not just technology. Technology has been, let's say, from the Stone Age when they are using harness technology. But the kind of technology we are dealing with now is highly sophisticated. And it's making everything simplified. That's what technology does. For example, now, if I'm giving a land, before, the initial point of real estate is to go and see the land. But now, with Google Pin, you can now know the location of the land. At least 6 months, 12 months picture. The last previous snap of the pictures will be around that 1 year. So you can see the development around there. You can now face prompt you whether to take your time physically or not. That saves time, it's technology. And there are some apps that can show you the topography of the area. Whether it's a slopy land, it's flat land, you know from the beginning. You understand? This is technology. And real estate, apart from land banking, buying a land, leave it when it appreciates, to sell it, the construction aspect of real estate is something that this modern technology should be adopted into. And let's say from 50 years ago, they've been molding block to build the same concept of roofing, the same concept of erecting the building.
Yes.
But with technology gives you same or better result with less cost. That's what makes it technology. And okay, from construction now,
Yes.
technology helps us even from the design. Let's say the initial stage is the design. With technology, you can have a better classic design, which is more efficient in terms of the functionality,
Yes.
the energy efficiency of the building. And another thing in the construction, more especially talking about energy efficiency,
Yes.
so that at long run there won't be too much energy consumption by the building, by the users of the building. So now, from the concept of the lighting, the how that, let's say for example, using solar panels
Yes.
or using a roofing sheet that is already a solar panel. You understand?
Yes.
You have your roof covering from weather and still at the same time you are getting energy. This is technology. And you can be off-grid. Those are most of the time technology come with high capital.
Yes.
But at long run, it's far cheaper compared to going the old way. Yeah. So, and it also helps in real estate. It's one thing to build, it's another thing to sell. So now, with technology helps in marketing, making people get to know what you are doing.
Yes.
And for example, now somebody don't need to come into the house physically to see what is everything about the building.
Yes.
But let's say there is this concept of the 3D camera. Let's say having 4 to 5 cameras snapping or
more like a
virtual reality kind of.
Yes.
So somebody from his house can go around the building
And
using
see.
virtual
Yes.
reality to see everything about the building. The same way as if he has come into the building. So from the comfort of his room, he can buy, he close a deal within a short possible period of time. So that's what technology does. So it's from the initial to the end of it. Technology helps save costs. Technology helps get more or better results.
This is a very good information that I think some realtors do not even know about. So I think we believe with this conversation, you've given them a lot of information on how they can use technology to enhance. Because some people still want to go take it to the old route. They want to still go there to see the land, to check the topography. But I think with what you have said, it's a very good edge for people in the real estate system. Now, speaking about the economy, how does the real estate add to the economy's GDP? Does it affect it, or does it increase it, or is just stagnant? What does it do exactly?
I think, let's say for example, for Nigeria, outside real estate, let's say outside oil and gas business, the next sector that adds to the economy, I think should be real estate. Because real estate, you take from the industry, those people manufacturing, producing all that is needed in the construction, and labor and employment, because people do the construction work, and imagine for a single building, the number of people that will benefit, the kind of money that will be exchanged. I think exchange of money, that's the GDP now. How many times money keep rotating. So imagine from purchase of the land, construction, selling of those buildings, purchase of cement, iron rod, wood, from the person that will cut the wood outside, and the custom people that will clear all the things that will be bought from abroad or things locally made here, the furniture man. So I think real estate adds a lot to the economy of the country. And I think it's also something that, for example, now in FCT, the road network that the current minister, Mr. is opening all over, adds to the construction industry. Anywhere they have new road construction, people are building. And the more people build, the more people get employment. And know that unemployment increase the rise of insecurity. So even real estate, those bad guys that go and involve into robbery and other things can be employed in the real estate. So it's not only economy, it helps in the security architecture of the country. So I think it's a venture that
employment as well.
yeah, it's something that I think government should look into it and make provisions for things that will enhance real estate projects in the country.
So we just want to do something fun. Can you describe your favorite place in 3 words? Like there's somewhere that your heart is there to set up a building or to do something amazing in terms of construction. Can you describe it in 3 words?
Like location?
Yes, wherever.
Okay, let me lay a foundation first. Now, in architecture,
yes,
building describe location. When you see Eiffel Tower, you know this is Paris. Watch Aladdin or Watch Khalifa, London Bridge is London, New York Tower. Even if you see Trump building in New York, you know that this is New York.
Yes.
And what we use for Abuja is the city gate.
Yes.
Imagine you don't have it, you understand. My passion is to roll a structure that will be a landmark describing a city. And the way I see the Independent Avenue in Central area is like our Manhattan. So if there's any location I want to raise a structure that can be a landmark for a city, it's the Central area.
The Minister Wike should be listening to this right now so that he can reach out because we would really love it.
This is my passion and this is one of my goals. As I can conceive it in my mind, I believe one day it will be a reality. Very soon.
Minister Wike should be listening to this right now. We should, so that we can make Abuja more fancy and more captivating by architects.
Adding to real estate, the more infrastructure, the more construction, the more real estate presence in a place, the more it will attract tourism. The more it gives value or the kind of even let's say the film industry.
Yes.
Real estate has to be a film industry. Because I have somebody that because they've been watching Nigerian movies, she went to Kenya and they were like, I need to the home, because based on what they've been seeing, the movie. Imagine there's no development and these people are coming from the village. Or real estate from look at the use of drone now. What is drone showing? It's not estates. You understand? So it will help even the tourism industry to now showcase that we develop, we are better people.
That's actually a very big one. That's actually a very big one. In fact, you've given out a lot of ideas, more than just real estate, to a lot of stakeholders in society. And I believe that at the end of the day, after they're done watching this, they will work on it and let's see what will happen. So we've gotten to the high points of this conversation. So we want you to give you a general advice and encouragement to our listeners, to your fellow developers and people who want to venture into real estate. What should they know? What should they think about? What is the first step they should take? Just general technique for them.
Okay. If I may give a general advice, one of the challenges we are having in the real estate industry now is the fact that how developers collect people's money and not keep it. Maybe as promised to say. Or how some, after collecting that money, really disappear. And also know that a developer that collects people's money to develop, that money is not his money until he produces results. So that will help that developer to build reputation.
Yes.
Stable reputation there, so that the next buyer, and now referral is the best market. But for you to get referral, you have to give something good for that too. So I would say sincerity and wait until it's right. Be result oriented. Give the result first before you. Why should you celebrate process? I celebrate result more than process. So if we are still in the process, we are on it. When we get the result, then we celebrate.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So far, this has actually been a very incredible and power-packed conversation. In fact, I myself, I think I'm convinced to be a developer and to be a realtor so that I can invest and begin to make those big amounts of money. But this conversation has really been, amazing. That it's telling us that real estate is not just about buildings, but it's about shaping life. It's about leaving a legacy behind. Because you mentioned reputation, try to be sincere, so that you can be able to create a better development for the society and as well as yourself. And to our listeners, thank you for always being there. This is a very good call to you that life is just like a structure you build step by step, and at the end of the day, you get a full blown building. So realize that as every structure has a vision, you as well should have a vision, and as every structure has a challenge, you should not, because of that challenge, pull away, but be able to step up and face those challenges. And at the end of the day, you have an amazing building in front of you, and that's an amazing future. Thank you so much for joining us, Architect Zerinda Dawada, for joining us and for sharing an amazing knowledge with us. And thank you to our viewers for listening. My name is still Priska Iwendi, and I'm your host for Inspirational Portal at TSAM Inspirational TV. For more information, you can log on to our website at eternalcast.org, and you can also follow us on the social media handles showing on your screen. And if you want to send us a message DM, you can send us at our email at tsaminspirationaltv@gmail.com. Thank you. Bye for now. Stay tuned for another episode.